What is going on, everybody? It's the France, and we're here for a Monday Night Raw review for June 1st. We are already into June. Wow, June 1st, 2020. Monday Night Raw, of course, was taped last Tuesday. And the world outside has changed since then. COVID's not a thing as much as it was before. Rioting, looting, protesting, all around. Here's 3 hours of a Monday Night Raw, which started off, mind you, pretty damn good. I will say that. It started off with Seth Rollins doing his best heel work and since, I don't know, his days with the Authority. You had a good match between him and Alister Black. Then you had, let me see here. Let me check my notes here. Then you had Apollo Crews and then Apollo Crews versus Kevin Owens for the United States Championship, which was a great match up until the end, and then the show just went downhill from there. One of the biggest talking points coming into this episode of Monday Night Raw was the fact that the news came out last week that Nia Jax and Kairi Sane were in a match again. And Kairi Sane got busted open. Kairi Sane took a bad bump, and Kairi Sane was bleeding, and they had to stop the match, which that part after she got busted open was edited out of the show. The one question we all wanted to know was, is Nia Jax to blame? Now, due to her track record, we could all go out there and say, yeah. Without seeing it, we could all just assume, yes, Nia Jax is to blame. Was it her fault this time? I'm just going to cut to the chase. Yes, absolutely. The bump that they did, and we'll talk about it later, was dangerous. It was reckless. It was careless. That is not how you do a bump to the steps. It was something that should not have happened. Of course, WWE brass is going to go out there. WWE, anybody around is going to say, oh, it's not Nia's fault. Because they have to. It is a directive by Vince McMahon and WWE to be, don't blame Nia Jax because we don't want to upset The Rock. We can't take this title opportunity away from Nia Jax. Because if it looks like we're not favoring Nia Jax, The Rock probably won't want to work with us. Give me a fucking break. Nia Jax is reckless. She is careless. She doesn't give a fuck about anyone but herself. She'll go out there and wrestle a match and hurt somebody almost every single time. The main objective when you're out there in the middle of the ring wrestling a match, your first job is to entertain us. Entertain the fans, because we're not around, you don't have a job. Plain and simple. That is the obvious first job. Your second job is to go out there and protect the man or woman you are in the ring with. Nia Jax fails to do that every single fucking time. This is the second time in a month and a half, that these two have had a match, and Kairi Sane has ended up injured. Now, the last one caused the buckle bomb to be removed from WWE, which is something that should have happened a long time ago. So, again, this time, we'll talk about the bump here in a bit, but we have so much because I have a feeling they edited this show around because this match didn't show up until the 3rd hour. But this show, like I said, this show started off good, on a high. I will give him that. The promo by Seth Rollins to start off the show was good. The match with him and Alister Black was great. The match between Kevin Owens and Apollo Crews was fantastic up until the end. And then they went from there and it went downhill. So, if you watch that opening match and then you watch the Apollo Crews and Kevin Owens match and turn it off after what happened between those two, then you saved yourself a good bit of time and you had a good fill of WWE. So we started the show off with Seth Rollins coming to the ring. We will hear from Rey Mysterio later in the show. They had the bowling with the Viking Raiders and the Street Profits. I don't give a shit. I'd rather play Animal Crossing New Horizons on my Nintendo Switch than watch that garbage. But Seth Rollins was out there with his 2 disciples. He says, tonight is a huge night on Raw. A lot of things going on here. Soon I will face Alister Black. He has things confused about Rey Mysterio and left me no choice but to deal with it myself. Ray will be here on here later tonight to speak to you, but my gut tells me he won't have what it take to announce his retirement, so I will handle that myself. Seth Rollins, of course, being this delusional heel, thinking that he is the greater good, he's going to be able to go out there and spread the greater good and make Raw better on his own. It's what makes a good heel like this is that you believe what you're saying. Seth Rollins comes off as believing what he's saying. If you know, like, Rey Mysterio like I do, he's too humble to call himself a legend, which honestly, I'm pretty sure that is true about Rey Mysterio. He is probably too humble to sit there and say that, yeah, he's a legend. That's not something that a true legend doesn't sit there and harp on their legacy. They let other people do that. That's like in the NBA a couple years ago. LeBron James had this thing they did for ESPN Plus, and he's out there. He's on this thing, calling himself the greatest of all time and harping on his own legacy. And I'm like, that's not what a great does. A great doesn't do that. That is not the great. That's disrespecting everybody who came before you, and everybody's going to come after you, because that's not what you do. If you want to be a true legend, you don't harp on your legacy. You let other people do that. Let it sink in. It will be live history forever. It will live in history forever. He was a sacrifice for the greater good to Monday Night Raw. It's true, he is the greatest luchador of all time. He is a kind and generous man. In my darkest hour, he allowed himself to be the greater good, to be sacrificed for the greater good. So to honor the end of his career, I have a video package to admire and enjoy the legend of Rey Mysterio. We see the video. It highlights his entire career up until, and there was a lot of good video package. There was a lot of good stuff on here. They even had that video of the little black kid a couple years ago, or like I think it was like a decade ago or so. Rey Mysterio, when he does, he like takes and puts like his head and he puts the hairs and he has a mask on. But this kid, you could see here in the video saying "I love you" over and over. They've used that clip before. It's one of the like highlights they like to use for Rey Mysterio, that this one little child is telling to Rey Mysterio, "I love you. You put that much impact on me that I love you for who you are and for what you've done for me." But of course, it gets to the part where a couple weeks ago he tried to hit the 619 on Murphy. Seth Rollins grabbed him and threw him out of the ring, and then went to take his head and put his eye out through that on the steps. What an amazing career for Mysterio, a first ballot Hall of Famer. And Ray, I want you to know, when your time comes, it'll be my honor to induct you into the WWE Hall of Fame. Now, we got an audience again, because this was, of course, taped on Tuesday. So hearing people actually get Seth Rollins getting a reaction, getting boos and everything, actually helps these a lot better. It's better to have this crowd than to not have a crowd. As he says, the Hall of Fame, Alister Black comes out, they brawl for a minute, Seth Rollins exits the ring, and we go to break. We come back, and we have the match. And as I said at the top of the thing, this was a great match. This was probably the match of the night. I would love to have said Apollo Crews versus Kevin Owens, but the finish just, ugh. We'll talk about that here in a bit. Rollins tries to distract the ref when we get halfway through this match, and to allow Austin Theory and Angel Garza, who are both have their hands in a form of prayer, they're walking over with their hands in a form of prayer, heading towards Alister Black, and Humberto Carrillo comes out with a chair to fend these guys off. Rollins has the advantage as we come back from break. Then Black gets back into it, back and forth these two go. Frog splash by Rollins lands on Black's knees, which Black grabs his right knee as this is coming up. They fight on the apron. Rollins goes for something. It looked like he was going to go for either a power driver or a power bomb on the apron, most likely a power driver, but Alister Black gets out of this. And he ends up kicking Rollins back into the ring post. So he falls off the apron. Then Alister Black follows that up with a moonsault. Both men are down. We go to commercial break. Now we come back, and Black is looking for a superplex. Seth Rollins hits him and knocks him off. He's down. Second frog splash hits this time. 1, 2, kick out. Now, Seth Rollins gets back up. He's playing to the small crowd that we have, which again, better than nobody. Gets out to the apron, goes for his leaping knee, eats a running knee. Black goes for the black mass, has him steadying him up. Theory and Murphy get on the apron. Alister Black, Humberto Carrillo comes over, pulls them both down. They're pummeling Humberto Carrillo outside the ring. While that's going on, Black gets a little distracted. Seth rolls him up, gets a 2 count. When Black rolls him up, 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins wins the match. Theory and Austin Theory and Buddy Murphy on the outside look shocked. Seth Rollins looks shocked. He brings them in, has them come in. They beat down on Alister Black. Curb stomp to Humberto Carrillo, who's also back in the ring now, as he tried to help, but it's 3-on-2, so that wasn't going to happen. Curb stomp to him while Alister Black is forced to watch. Then Theory and Murphy hold Alister Black down. He asks him, do you want to be a hero? Do you want to be a hero? This is what you get when you try to be a hero. Curb stomp to Alister Black. That is that. So this was pretty much most of the first hour. The first hour was mostly that first opening promo in this match. There was a little bit after that, but this was majority of the first hour. Great first hour, plain and simple. The promo when they opened the show was good. The match was awesome. 3 segments, which I hate. This is the one thing I hate about good wrestling on television. You lose a lot of, you can't, like when we watch a 15-20 minute match on pay-per-view and it's a barn burner from start to finish, you're into it completely because there's no commercial breaks. Unfortunately, this would be one of those matches, that was the best match on Monday Night Raw all year. But then you got to remember that, then you're sitting there and you're watching, it's we missed at least 5 minutes plus of this match because there was 2 commercial breaks in between it. That is one thing I hate about commercial, if I wish wrestling could be commercial free. Maybe they can adopt something like the football does, in the not the American football, but world football, where from half to half, there are no commercial breaks. They have up in the ticker, up by the scoreboard and everything, the scorecard, they have an advertisement for who's sponsoring them, so they don't have to go to commercial break. I wish WWE could adopt that for matches. I know Vince McMahon didn't want, I don't know if there was a time last year where we had matches that had to be ended and restarted because he didn't want wrestling in between commercials, which was fucking stupid. Here's a good idea. Do what I just said. Have a match sponsored by something that doesn't match, have sponsors going up. If a match ends and you want to go to commercial break, that is fine. And then when you come back, you can have whatever sketch you're going to have, then a match with the advertisements of who you have sponsoring you so you don't have to go to commercial break. I think it'd be a lot better. I know AEW does picture-in-picture, but I'm WWE, Friday Night SmackDown, when it was SmackDown Live on Tuesday from 2016 to last year, 2019, they did picture-in-picture for everything but the main event. It was cool in the beginning. It's just something I don't really care about. I wish I could just see the match from start to finish. I mean, there was a couple times that I wasn't able to watch AEW live, and I would download or get a download version of the show, and I would get the overseas version and be able to watch a match from start to finish. And it was so much better than having to watch commercials and seeing a match that has, for that entire segment that you have, building up to get your interest, only for you to lose it because you're gone for about 2 minutes due to commercials. Then they plug the free version of the WWE Network. So if you don't have the WWE Network paid $9.99, you get a free version. Raw, SmackDown's, NXT, recent ones. I don't know if all of them, which why not just put all of them out there free, all or pay-per-views. Anything that's not from 2020, if it's a pay-per-view on the network, it should be watchable. Table for Threes and so many other things that you can watch. Go check it out if you want to watch the network without having to pay. There you go. We go back to Apollo. We go back at what happened with Apollo Crews winning the United States Championship, everything that led up to it, including him winning it. Then we look back at what happened with Angel Garza last week between him and Owens, because Angel Garza was out there, which was went backstage with Charlie Caruso, and of course Zelina Vega was with him. And of course we see what happens, and she was talking about how that win was controversial. He, of course, decides he's going to flirt with her again because it's Angel Garza. They want to make him this macho guy, even though people who are wrestling fans who actually pay attention to things know that Angel Garza is engaged and got engaged after winning the Cruiserweight Championship last December. So why we continue to have this guy be pegged as a like this romance guy sitting there who's flirting with Charlie Caruso and all these other women is beyond me. He's like, instead in love and in competition, you always need to stay one step ahead. And that's exactly what he did last week. If anyone's got a problem with that, they don't know what they're doing. And that is pretty much everything. He flirts with her some more, gives her a rose. Zelina Vega stays behind, grabs a rose, pulls all the petals off, gives her back the stem, and then tosses all the petals around her and walks off. Then we hear from Shawn Michaels. What is Shawn Michaels doing on WWE Raw? Well, he's doing the same thing that Ric Flair did last week and Kurt Angle did for a second on Friday. They're having these guys push this match as the greatest wrestling match ever. I didn't believe Ric Flair last week. I didn't believe the little bit they had for Kurt Angle. I didn't believe Shawn Michaels tonight. They are pushing this to be they're trying to make this the greatest match ever. Apparently there's great wrestling matches t-shirt line they put out, like Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker WrestleMania 25. That's better than what you'll see this Sunday or next Sunday. Like Shawn Michaels, like Bret Hart versus Cold at WrestleMania 13. That submission match or whatever that match was called, where Austin was bloodied and passed out. That was a better match than what you'll see this coming Sunday. I know they had the British Bulldog versus Bret Hart on one of those shirts. I don't know about that. Mick Foley Cactus Jack versus Triple H at the Royal Rumble 2000 is a better match than what you will see next Sunday. The fact that you're giving these guys this much pressure, I don't even care. Even if they went out and gave you a 5-star classic. The fact that you're going to go and have these guys have so much pressure on them just to go out there and perform, it's like, if the match is a dud, which it most likely will be, this is WWE's way of saying, well, we said it was going to be the greatest match ever, it really wasn't, we gave them too much pressure, so that's why the match was terrible. Taylor Braxton's in the ring with Apollo Crews. She congratulates him again and asks him how his week has been as champion. I don't know, he's only been champion for 24 hours by this time. He's, happy and everything. Happy is the champion. He's asked who is his first opponent going to be because he gets to pick. And he says, this guy has earned it. This guy deserves it. And my first pick is going to be Kevin Owens. Wow, what a good pick. What a really great pick. I was like, holy shit. WWE giving us a great fucking pick. This is going to be good. I can't wait to see what happens. But Kevin Owens comes out and he's like, you know what? That's great. I love what's going on here. And I'm congratulations to you. But after what happened with Angel Garza last week and what happened and everything else, it feels like this is a pity challenge. Like you're pitying me for what happened last week. And Paul's like, that ain't the case. This is all out of respect. I respect the hell out of you, and I want to give you the first crack at my championship. Kevin Owens is like, oh, if it's out of respect, well, I feel bad. And Apollo's like, don't feel bad. He's trying to be like, don't feel bad because you earned this. And Kevin Owens is like, yes, I've earned this. I deserve this, but that's not why I feel bad. If this is out of respect, I feel bad because your first title run is going to be a short one. And there you go. And I'm thinking, wow, let's see what you got, Apollo, because this should be a hell of a match. And honestly, it was. Owens and Cruz back and forth. These two go pop-up powerbomb is blocked, standing moonsault for a 2 count. 2 splashes in the corner by Cruz, misses the third suplex. The third splash. Super kick, Owens senton ends with knees on the spine. Then Andrade and Garza come out. And of course, what I just said here was a short version of everything that happened. This match went way longer than I have written down. It's just, these guys were playing, like, wrestling. Like, this was such a good match at the time. It's just like, I want to take notes for this, but this is a good match, and I don't want to, like, sit there and miss anything. And then, of course, Angel Garza and Andrade have to come out and ruin the whole thing. Match gets thrown out. We go to break. I'll give you 2 seconds, 3 seconds to figure out what the hell came next. We got a generic, lazy tag team match. Why book the match in the first? Why book the title match? Why book the title match? Kevin Owens doesn't really need to lose another match. Apollo Crews doesn't need to lose the championship yet if you just gave it to him. But yet you want to do something to be able to get Andrade and then coming out. Why didn't you just have Andrade and Angel Garza make a challenge for, like, I don't know. It's just so bad. Typical tag team match. Cruz gets the win. That is that. Nikki Cross versus Billie Kay. Before this match got started, we hear the Iconics music hit, and then they're not out here. We shift to the back. The Iconics on one side, Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss on the other, and they're just sitting there bitching and moaning and yelling at each other about what? I don't fucking know. So apparently they brawled a little bit. We go to break, we come back. Nikki Cross is taking on Billie Kay. I don't care. I really didn't care about this match. Tried to catch a couple fish on Animal Crossing while this match was going on. I heard it in the background, and Nikki Cross lost. You have your tag team champions going up against the Boston Thug Connection on Friday for the tag team titles. Why is Nikki Cross losing? So that tells me that the Boston Thug are not winning on Friday, predictably, and that you're still going to have at Backlash Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss versus the Icon Moronics. Unless they do something where I think they're going to go, because I don't see any reason for Bayley to be defending her title next Sunday, and they're going to do a triple threat match between the Boston Thug, the Moronics, and the tag team champions. How does this happen? Well, on Friday, Peyton Royce and Billie Kay use the brand-to-brand invitation, which, by the way, I think they might have dropped that because we didn't have any of that this week. Come to think of it, we didn't have any of that last week, did we? And no, Bliss and Cross do not count to the brand-to-brand invitation. They are the women's tag team champions. They have the right to go from brand to brand anyway. They are the women's tag team champions. They can go to Raw anytime they want because they hold those titles. And I don't know if I'm correct. I didn't hear the brand-to-brand invitation muttered at all tonight. I could be wrong. Then we get Rey Mysterio. We're hearing from Rey Mysterio on his injury, his update. He doesn't have a timetable. He doesn't know when he's going to come back. Then Dominic comes in. He talks about, he mentions that somebody from this family needs to take out Seth Rollins and make him pay for what happened. Rey Mysterio says he will never forgive Seth Rollins for what he did. Rey leaves at the end of this. Dominic is sitting there still. And he's like, Seth Rollins, you're a man of scripture, an eye for an eye. Well, this is WWE's third or fourth attempt to get Dominic in the storylines. The last few times, it was Samoa Joe, Brock Lesnar, and now Seth Rollins. And there's a rumor going around that Seth Rollins might be able to recruit Dominic to be his disciple, which honestly would be a huge coup for the young Mysterio. I don't know if they're going to go that route. I don't think they should go that route. I mean, honestly, I think Dominic should be in NXT if he's going to do anything in WWE. Give that guy a chance to actually, like, build a name and be able to build a legacy from the ground up. Being thrown into Monday Night Raw after he's done with his dad and his dad ends up retiring I just don't know if I don't know. We'll have to see if he can hold it. If he can handle it, then that's fine. And then we get to Nia Jax versus Kairi Sane. Nia Jax comes out, cuts a terrible promo. Woman can't fucking do anything right. Calls, I don't even remember what the fuck she called Oscar, but it wasn't really good. It wasn't something that you should be calling somebody that. I think she called him a charlatan or something like that. Well. Then Kairi Sane comes out. I did like the fact that when Kairi Sane came out, she came out with her parasol, and on the parasol was Japanese lettering. And I don't speak Japanese, but apparently, what it said on the parasol was "Thank you, Hana," or something like that. And if you don't know, Kairi Sane came from Stardom. She saw the final tweet that Hana put up on Twitter before she passed away, and it was during the day in the United States where Kairi is living. So she called up somebody who works in Stardom to go check on Hana, and by the time they got there, it was too late. So Kairi had some connection to Hana, and that was her paying homage to her, which is great. If you saw on Friday, Sasha Banks had a black band with Hana on her I think it was on her left side, which was pretty awesome too. Yes, a lot of love for them, a lot of love. Now, this match, I would say the first half of this match, Kairi Sane was owning Nia Jax. She hit her with a drop kick right off the bat. She was beating the brakes off of her, she had her in a sleeper hold as Nia Jax tried to go for her Samoan drop. She angled herself into a sleeper, got Nia down to her knees, got her a couple axe kicks onto the shoulder, so Nia Jax is just reeling completely. Couple running shots, Nia Jax looks like she's going to get beaten. The sliding D in the corner to Nia Jax. Nia, she goes up for the insane elbow, but Nia gets out of the ring and is like, this is not going to happen like this. So she walks all the way around to the front of where the ramp is. So Kairi Sane tries to do something, and Nia Jax stops her. Nia Jax slams her head onto the mat, onto the apron, which, that's just going to happen. That's a fine move. Then, the careless, reckless Nia Jax strikes again. She grabs Kairi Sane by the head, runs over, and just throws her head first into the steel steps. Now, this next part was edited because Kairi Sane would post 2 photos of herself, one with her stitches in where she got injured, and one with an open cut. Obviously, they didn't want to put that on the TV on TV because that would have killed their time, and they barely finished this show on time. Just saying. But the next thing we see the referee checking on Kairi. Nia puts her in the ring, rolls in the ring, hits a very shitty leg drop. 1, 2, 3, she wins. As I said before, Nia Jax 100% to blame for this injury. There's no fucking reason you throw somebody into the steel steps like that. Nia Jax is reckless. She is careless. She doesn't give a fuck about anybody else but herself. I guarantee you she'll probably be on Twitter tonight mocking Kairi Sane because Kairi Sane can't handle being in the ring with Nia Jax. I'm sorry. She's related to The Rock, and that's the only reason she's got a job. The only reason she has a job. And honestly, Nia Jax, if she was to be released, she wouldn't be able to go anywhere else because no one else would put up with her. One injured person in any other promotion, Nia Jax is out of that promotion. I'm just saying. Randy Orton. We hear from Randy Orton. He cuts a fantastic promo. Randy Orton and Edge. If it was a feud of just promos, the greatest promo feud of all time, it would be up there because these two have gone on and given you some of the best fucking promos in WWE today, last year, in the last 10, 15 years. These are some of the best goddamn promos. Edge comes off believable. Randy Orton comes off as this snide, big asshole who just loves to hurt people and is just he's pretty much in this thing is like, well, Edge, you said that I've been coasting and that I got everything handed to me and I'm here because of my name. You're damn right I am. But I can coast my entire career and be better than half of that, most of that locker room in there. And you're jealous of that. I laid the trap, I laid the bait, you bit, and at Backlash, he's going to out wrestle out wrestle Edge. I can't even do justice to that promo. I wanted to write it down. It's just like, if you want to check this promo out, it's probably going to be on the YouTube page here in the next hour or so. Make sure to go check it out. It is just great. Like I said, Edge's promos have been great. Seth Rollins' promos have been great. I wish Asuka would speak more English because I know she can speak English. She speaks English all the time on her Connor Chan TV. Let this woman speak English. Nia Jax can't cut a promo to save her goddamn life. Charlotte Flair can't cut a promo to save her goddamn life. I can't even justify talking about Charlotte Flair because she absolutely sucks. Charlotte versus Asuka. Charlotte Flair and Asuka are an anomaly for the fact that Charlotte Flair is overrated as high end. But Charlotte Flair and Asuka are in that stratosphere of these two just work so well together. Charlotte Flair works well with Asuka works well with almost anybody. But Charlotte Flair weaknesses are hidden so well against Asuka. Asuka is like what did I say? Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels before the squabbles came together. The squabbles became too much. Those two worked so well together. If it wasn't for the beef that happened between those two, and Shawn Michaels getting injured and Bret Hart leaving WWE to go to WCW, those two could have been feuding for the rest of the 90s all the way into the 2000s. That's how good they were. Austin and Rock, same thing. Triple H, Mick Foley, Triple H, Cactus Jack, great fucking things. They worked so well together. They had so much chemistry together. Asuka and Charlotte have that chemistry. I want to shit all over this match, but I can't because these two went out there and did everything they could to give you as good of a match as they could. However, I will shit on the fucking ending. One of the biggest things in this match is that Asuka tried to get the armbar in. Charlotte Flair would get it out. She put her in the triangle, and they kept reversing. Like Asuka would get submissions on, Charlotte Flair would reverse them. Asuka ends up on the outside. Her music hits. Nia Jax comes dancing out like Asuka with an Asuka mask on. Pulls the mask off, and she's got the same paint that Asuka has on. And then you hear ding ding ding. What the fuck? The bell rang. Asuka was outside the ring for maybe 3 seconds. Like as soon as she fell out of the ring, her music hit, and then like 3 seconds later, we hear the bell ring. What the fuck was that? Now I understand that this match went longer than it probably should have. They could have cut it down if they really wanted to. Because when we got to the end of the show, there was only like 5 minutes left. And I'm like, there's no fucking way this is going to even be that much of a match between Drew McIntyre and MVP. Because we still got that. But how the fuck do you justify Asuka falling out of the ring? You hear 1, 2, and next thing you know, her music's playing, and then the bell rings as if the match was over, and then of course Asuka gets laid out by Nia Jax, who dances around a little bit more and throws the mask down on Asuka. What the hell was that? Did the referee call a disqualification before a disqualification could happen? Can someone explain to me why the bell fucking rang like not even 10 seconds later? This made no sense to me. Yes, Asuka and Charlotte Flair do not need to lose. Asuka's got a match at Backlash for the Women's Championship. Charlotte's got a match for the NXT Women's Championship the week before, this coming Sunday. So, can someone explain to me why this match needed to happen and why that was a fucked up finish? Wow. By the way, earlier in the night, I forgot to mention this, MVP was in his suit, he was in his suit without the jacket. And Lana comes up to him, and she is just like, you're using my Bobby to, like, you're using my body to try to leech off my body and resurrect your pathetic WWE career. MVP says that is no further from the truth. Let's say if it was, wouldn't that be two of us? Pretty much suggesting that she's leeching off of him too. Lana gets that smirk and then poorly slaps him in the face. So I bring that up because on Twitter, WWE post this clip of Lana slapping him. And when you go to this clip, there's a lot of WWE, there's a lot of people commenting as like it's a weak slap, blah blah blah. It's like MVP's a lot better than her. And then you have this one fucking troll who, yes, I know things are going on as they are right now with all this like justice for black people, Black Lives Matter, yada yada yada. This dumb motherfucker wants to bring race into the storyline. The fact that, oh my god, this is tone deaf by WWE. They just clearly don't give a shit because they had a white woman slap a black man. Here's the thing, motherfuckers. It has nothing to do with race. A man, not a black man, not an Asian, not a Cuban, not anything. A man, take the color of his skin out of it. A man insulted a woman. Take the color of her skin out of it. A man insulted a woman verbally. She is going to slap the taste out of his mouth because she is offended. That is all that happened. Anybody who wants to take race and bring it into this, you are the fucking problem. It's people like that that are the fucking problem with this world. We are officially on witch hunting. Are we just going to witch hunt everything now? If something is taken out of context, we're going to sit there and witch hunt for it. Oh, a white woman slapped a black man because he insulted her. Take the color of the skin away. Man gets slapped by woman. That is the article. Guess what? Nothing happens. Nobody gets pissed off. But because MVP is one shade of color and Lana is another shade of color, we gotta bring race into it. Give me a fucking break. Just do yourself a favor. Turn off Twitter, get rid of all social media, go live in a hole and never talk to anybody again, because if you're bringing race into something that's not racist, you're the fucking problem. You're part of the problem, and you're one of the reasons why this country is so fucked up. That's just like last week when we had that whole thing with that cyberbullying stuff that happened with JD and stuff last week, and somebody Natty was told by somebody that she has no talent, and then the next week she quote tweeted and said cyberbullying won't be tolerated on this feed, and I'm like, that's not cyberbullying. We go from cyberbullying last week to racism this week in the comment sections. Can people go one fucking day, one fucking week in the wrestling community without trying to bring racism into the fucking world? Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. Can we go one fucking week without trying to stir up drama in the wrestling community? It's not that fucking hard. If you have a problem, you address it with the person, and then you don't bring it up again. I know we have a bunch of Twitter trolls who think, like, we had those Twitter trolls who think they need to white knight for somebody and stand up for them because especially if it's in a female's case, it's like because they think they're going to be able to sleep with that woman. Again, MVP getting slapped by Lana was not a race issue, was not a race thing. She was not brutalizing a black man. She was slapping a man who insulted a woman. How hard is that to understand? Anyway, Charlie Caruso talks to Lana later on, like towards the end of the show, right before the match, and asks, do you think that when Bobby Lashley came to you and told you to not come out to them, was it actually MVP's idea and not Bobby's? She's like, that's most likely, that has to be because Bobby wouldn't do that. And she also says that he said, I can't come out for his match, but did not say anything about MVP's matches. And she just walks off. We come back from break. We go We go to the ring, and Bobby Lashley is already coming out. So Lashley's out there. He's the first person to see. Out comes MVP, out comes Drew McIntyre. Then Lana's music hits, and she comes out. Did she play a factor in any of this? Hell no. This match lasted a few minutes. Pretty much, Drew McIntyre beats the brakes off of MVP. MVP ends up getting sent to the outside. Bobby Lashley distracts Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre gets sent into the post by MVP. Back in the ring, he gets a couple licks in on Drew McIntyre. McIntyre gets back up, and which, by the way, him counting 3, 2, 1 with a crowd is a million times better. I'm just gonna say that right now. I mean, people there to count 3, 2, 1, Claymore, definitely better. But yeah. So MVP gets hit with a leaping lariat off the top rope. 3, 2, 1, Claymore, 1, 2, 3. As soon as that referee that referee's third hit the ground, we get ourselves Bobby Lashley in there with a Full Nelson on Drew McIntyre, who's fighting to get it off as we go to black. And that was Monday Night Raw's review. That was Monday Night Raw. Like I said, started off so well. I honestly enjoyed the very first hour of this show. Then WWE does what WWE does best. You take a a singles match, and you make it a tag team match. Why? It's so stupid. It's so annoying. It doesn't need to fucking happen every single fucking time. You could have just had a double count out between these two or something, because neither man needed to lose this match. Apollo doesn't need to lose the championship. He just won it. Kevin Owens doesn't need to lose because he needed to find redemption on what happened last week. So what do? We have them get attacked by Angel Garza and Andrade, and leads us to a tag team match, which the baby faces win. Nia Jax needs to be removed from WWE television. The fact that this woman is getting a title shot, because quite honestly, other than having Kairis turn on Asuka, they have nobody else. Unless they want to do something with Shayna Baszler, which it doesn't look like they want to. And Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley, I could care less. But, hey, it is what it is. But that's your Monday Night Raw review. Hit the subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Twitter at The Fronts Club. Find me on twitch.tv/TheFrontsClub. And find me on Instagram too at The Fronts Club. And I will see you guys Wednesday for AEW. Let's see what they do this coming week. Don't bring back Mike Tyson, please. I don't want to see him again. But I'm getting out of here. You guys have a good one.